Hi, I'm Greg from Modern Pigeon, and this is a video about how to shoot videos. There's a lot of those out on the internet right now, so this one's going to be a little different in the sense that I'm going to show you how to do it on an extremely tight budget, because that's what most of us are on. So you don't need any fancy video equipment, you don't need any fancy audio equipment, but you do need some basic tools, and we're going to go over those basic ones right now. This entire video is being shot on an iPhone 4. So a smartphone is a great option. A lot of them shoot video now. A lot of them shoot really great quality video. This one's shooting in 720p right now. There's also a digital point and shoot camera. Most of those have a video mode and shoot very acceptable quality video. If you don't have a smartphone or a digital point and shoot camera, you're probably not interested in shooting video in the first place. So I'm assuming you have one of those things. And the other thing you're going to need is something to capture audio, because the audio quality on a smartphone or on a digital point and shoot is just not up to par with what good quality audio should be for even a web video. I'm using right here a basic microphone. It cost me less than $100. I got it at a music store. It's a condenser microphone and it's on a boom stand out of frame here. I'll zoom out to show you that. And this whole thing is wired actually into the other room. I'm shooting in my apartment right now because that's also cheap. In the other room is a audio interface. It's a USB audio interface. It plugs into my Mac and I can record. I'm just using another free program that came with my Mac, GarageBand, to just track the audio for this recording. I'm gonna sync it up later. You guys have probably seen those clapboards in the movies, the black and white checker boards. They've got the scene number written on them and they clap them down when they say action or take two. The real reason for that, one of the reasons for that, is to sync the audio. You don't need a fancy clapboard. You can just clap, and then when you're syncing up the audio, which I'll show you how to do later, you just sync that clapping motion on the camera with that clapping sound, and your audio, the speech, anything else that you have going on is going to sync up perfectly. As I said, I'm shooting this video on the iPhone 4, but there are two other things going on for me right now that are making the quality of the video a little bit better than a lot of the web videos that you see. One, the camera is being 100% stable because it's on a tripod right now. You don't need to invest in a tripod. You can either buy a really cheap one, or you can keep your camera or your phone on a bookcase or on a chair or something like that. You can easily rig something up to hold your camera steady while you sit in front of it and talk to it like I'm doing right now. The other thing that's working for me is because I'm using the iPhone, I downloaded an app. I think it was only $2 or $3.99, and it allows me to lock focus, lock exposure, lock white balance, things like that. One of the things that makes web videos look really unauthentic is when they're shot with a point and shoot camera and you move from areas of dark to light. The camera's trying to compensate for that and the exposure starts bouncing all over the place. If you can keep those things stable and regular, it's going to make your video look a lot more consistent and professional. One more quick note about shooting video before I start showing you how I actually edit it and put everything together is you'll notice that every shot I've taken, I've changed the angle slightly just by moving the tripod, moving the camera to a slightly different part of the room. This kind of keeps the user a little more engaged than a straight-on shot and a repetitive shot. It also allows me, I'm shooting this by myself. You can be shooting it with a partner, that helps a little bit, but I get up every time I say cut to myself and I come back, so I'm not going to be in the exact same position I was before, and if I had the camera in the same position, you're going to get this unevenness and it's going to jump around and look a little weird. So by changing the angle, I not only make it look a little cooler, a little more professional and keep you interested, but I also make it look realistic. So working with somebody else can definitely help, but let's get into how we actually edit this stuff and put everything together and make a final product. Okay, so here we are in GarageBand, and it's not great on the iPhone recording on a computer screen, but hopefully you won't have to do that in your video and you'll be able to avoid it. But what I did here was I just added the video to my audio track. All I had to do was import from the phone and drag from the Finder right into the GarageBand workspace, and it drops right in. I'm not going to do that again now though because it's already there. So then you just want to click on the movie sound and delete that, and you pull up your movie preview screen and you want to fast forward to the point where you clapped your hands together to replicate the clapboard that they use in movies. And you want to find that exact moment. So here's me clapping, and then I want to find that exact moment that my hands first hit together. And now you grab your audio track and you find the big spike at the very beginning where you clapped your hands together and there was silence afterwards, and you just line it right up on the header and you test it. And everything looks good, sounds good, the words are matching my mouth movement, and we're good. So that's it. Export, and you've got yourself your movie clip ready for editing. Okay, so here we are in iMovies, the final step of the editing process. And again, I apologize for the bad iPhone video shot. But iMovie's great. You can select whole clips, you can select down to different seconds, different tenths of a second, and really get a precise edit. And drag your final clips into the project space there, and live preview it as you roll over with your mouse, and get a really good sense of how you're editing. You can also change the video properties very easily. You can adjust exposure, you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust contrast up and down, you can adjust the saturation of the image and make it completely black and white. And there's also a white point feature, so you can adjust that. Audio, you can adjust the clip volume and fade-ins and fade-outs. You can do all your transitions, cross blurs, fade to whites, fade to blacks, things like that. You can add text, superimpose text right on top of the video. You've got a lot of control over the color, the size, the type of the text, the orientation, the animation, all different text effects and things like that. There's also music. You have access to your iTunes music library through here, and you can also have a bunch of sound effects in that library as well. There's cropping features. You can do a Ken Burns effect, you can do crops, fit to different types of aspect ratios, and you can also record audio. You can record voiceover, which is what I'm doing now through iMovie. So I hope you enjoyed that video on how to make web videos. I'm proving a point right now by not using any of the tools I just described to record this final clip, so I'm hoping that you can see and hear the difference and will make the right choices when you're recording your next video. Thanks.